Hello everybody, welcome to Young Africa. My name is Wangui, and I'm so happy to have this show because in this show we are going to talk about an issue that I really love talking about, youth leadership. Today we are going to ask that question that people always ask: are the youth the leaders of tomorrow or the leaders of today? With me in the show is none other than Mustafa, who is a lecturer at the Civil Service Institute and is also a researcher. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm here.
You are a leader, I believe so.
Thank you so much. I'm here.
We've seen you so much in the media because you've been doing a lot of things, especially when it comes to voicing out issues that are affecting our society. And that is why we have you here today, because we believe that you can contribute to this topic on youth leadership.
Actually, yeah, I'm here to it. I'm ready.
Welcome. Welcome. So I'll start with this question. Are the youth the leaders of tomorrow or are they the leaders of today?
First of all, thank you so much, Wangui. Thank you to our leader, our group here, and also CPA family. And I actually believe that you youth are leaders of today, not tomorrow, because we have been saying that word so many times. I was young on that. But now it's time to lead. It's their time, definitely it's their time. There's no excuse. They should lead today more than any time before, because we live in the age of youth. We are from Africa, which is the youngest continent in the world. It's a very fascinating continent in terms of population, in terms of resource, in terms of everything. Then we need it's time to lead our countries, our continent at large. Very briefly, I'm very optimistic that we can do that because of, in terms of fertility rate, we are very high according to the other world. In terms of young population, we are almost 70% according to the other continent, America, Europe, and Asia. You know, if you go to sociability, also with connectivity of the world, we are almost those who are using it seriously. We are all active and go to M-Pesa, go to SAT, go to mobile money. We are very active because we are very young. Go to our cities, you can find all sorts of young people, elite, non-elite, intellectuals, non-intellectuals. They are here fighting for their life. The only thing we need is to lead our young people to a good future, a promising day for tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. So we need to nurture our youth to be agents of change and to participate in sustainable development here in Africa. So you're saying the youth are the leaders of today, not the leaders of tomorrow. Yes.
Here in Somaliland, are the youth the leaders of today?
No. In the context, we are not leading, but we are fighting to lead. For example, the late elections here, the youth were the one who manipulating parties. We're preparing manifesto of the parties. We have been those who are advocating, but unluckily, there's a group who is behind. I used to be behind the political parties who making the funds, who making the last decisions, which are very elder people. But we are still fighting that one. And today, for example, there's a conflict between the age conflict. The young people are for example, they are between 70 and 80% of the society. You cannot ignore that number. Every sector of the society. But unluckily, those who are in power, they are very close people here. Very, very close, very aged one. And I did a research about the age mean of that people. They are between 80 to 90 of the age.
So our leaders here are even above 80 years old.
Yes.
That brings me to the question, do we have a retirement age here?
No, we don't have that at all.
So you lead until you die?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Lead until they die. That's the only problem we have. We don't have that policy. For example, if you go to Kenya, if you go to Ethiopia, you can find. If you go to Uganda, but in Somaliland, you cannot find that kind of policy. Because of those people, they are not ready to go that way. They are not proposing that kind of policies into parliament. They're here. They say, well, I'm here, I fight for you, I fight for your freedom, I fight for everything, I fight against that government, whatever. They start these things of their own excuses to lead us. But we are saying enough is enough now. Yeah. You don't wait to go to the graves. You should go and retire and see others are doing better than what you did in the past. And we don't have that policy. Unfortunately, we don't have that policy.
Yeah, because in countries like, for example, Kenya and Ethiopia, I think the age limit is 65.
Yes.
When you're 65, you retire. You leave it to the young people.
Yes.
So it's strange that here there's no... Because even on the roads, I will see the traffic policeman, a very old traffic policeman, and he's struggling to control the traffic, which is not right at all.
Yes.
Is it that the law, is it the problem, is it the law, or is it the leaders themselves who don't want to leave the seat, or what is it?
Normally laws are formulated by, initiated by those people in the power. If you don't initiate the law, if you don't advocate that kind of law, there's no law at all. You know that one. But these people in the power, they're not ready.
They're not ready to leave their positions.
They're not ready to facilitate to come others into power. They want to lead for, as you told before, until they die. That's the challenge we have here. We don't have that law, and we are not ready to make that unless we use a pressure, unless we advocate it hardly as a young people. That's when I'm advocating here. We should push our rights, not to wait until they come. There's no thing you can come when you are sitting, but you should look for what you are want for. You should fight for that one. And for example, African, we have a very good historic background. In the age of colonization, the young people were there. They come up, they fought against that people, white people. Even they were ready to go to jail. Even they have been jailed. They have been sentenced to death. Then what we want is here to fight for that issue. Now for Somaliland, I told you before, they say there's a conflict between age. There's age conflict. Young people are looking for brighter future. That way they want they migrate illegally to Europe, and they die in the Atlantic Ocean so many times.
Yeah, we've seen that happening a lot.
Yeah, a lot of time. Also, you can see, if you go to the streets now, you can see so many young people are employed. Just sitting in the cafes, chatting, watching games, European games, or the champion, what's it called? Eating chat. Even you can see that one. They eat chat a lot because of, as interested, they want to pass time. Then and then what I'm saying here, for example, is we need the young people to unite to make the voice heard. They should come together. They should associate. Then they should make the decision is very clear that enough is enough. We need that to retire at age. Yeah. That's what.
So what can the young people do to ensure that their voice is heard? Because we've seen youth leaders who have raised their voice. You are one of them. You were arrested. Tell us about that, first of all.
Yes, it's not only me. Even the chairman of the youth wing in Wadani party have been arrested and now released after almost 3 months in the jail with the executions of insulting the president whatsoever. Then I have been also arrested in 2018, and I have been in the jail 80 days because of I made a post in my Facebook page, and the young people came to my office and they took me to the jail because of they say that you are insulting our big people here. Finally, they released me without any sentence because of there's no evidence at all. Then and it's not only me. There's you can find so many young people arrested without no reason because of they just said what they want to say. And you know, in Somaliland, as I told you before, we have so many informal way of life and formal way of life. For example, these parties, this politics is formal way, but we have non-formal way of life, which is based on tribe. And if you go against, for example, the president, some people may fight you because of this is you're insulting our president, or you are insulting other one's president. Then that kind of and these leaders here, they encourage that kind of behavior because of they are one who have who have the power, who are enjoying the power because of this kind of protection. Instead of focusing them, you focus among yourselves as a young people. You are quarreling each other, you are excusing each other. That's what you call inclusive politics. But as a young, we need to use our mind. We need to read a lot. We need to move. You go to, for example, Uganda. We have Bobi Wine, which is a very young man, a musician, which he is against Mustafa, who was bowing more than 30 years now, and unluckily his population they poor after he was in power. Then it's not easy for you to fight against a regime. You go to Gaddafi, you go to Hosni Mubarak, all this, they topple it. They don't went for free. Then we need now here. I'm not advocating violence. I'm advocating as a peaceful manner of advocating your will, your participation. If you want to become a leader, you should move forward. You should come up with concrete debates, arguments. You should make platforms, you should make associations, whatsoever. And our constitution allows all these things. The
constitution allows for young people to come together and form associations.
Absolutely.
And
100%.
So we have the freedom of speech.
Absolutely. We have freedom of speech. That's fundamental right in our Somaliland people. Okay. And you can assemble, you can demonstrate, you can peaceful everything. You can air your views. But actually, those people in the power, they don't like that thing, as you know. Then sometimes they act against that constitution. But if you fear, that's what they want.
But you know, sometimes you can't stop fearing, because you've seen people like you being arrested. You've talked of Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine has gone through so much. The youth leader of Wadani party, he has been arrested several times. Don't you think this discourages other young people from vying for leadership?
Yes, that's even not only Wadani party, but even Kulmia himself. They arrest so many different young people in their party, which, for example, and there's also other people like Azeez, which is Abdurrahman Azeez. He's also a young man. He just make clear what's going on in the jail there in St. Hargeisa, but they arrested him. And they simply because of they say you are against this president. And that's common in politics and African politics, because of the old man is also the powerful man. He has everything. But what we want is to become brave enough, to motivated enough to pursue our goals, which is leading the country, which is not easy. You can find a job, you can go somewhere else, but if you want to lead, you should become sacrificed. You should devote your time, your energy, because of you. It's not a personal will, it's a community will, it's a country will. You are leading a pack of young people. Then you should be ready to pitch in the jail. That's what I'm saying.
So you need to have the courage, and you need to be ready for anything. Do you need money to lead? Because money is power sometimes.
Yes.
So as a young person, for you to be heard, do you need money?
Absolutely. And for somebody in Somaliland, to have a money, you need to become an old, because of we don't have commercial banks to give you a grant to start your own business. We don't have good jobs here. Unemployment is very high here, as you know. Here, for example, then to make small money, it takes you time. That's times we have. We don't have international supporters, for example. We are not recognized as a country. Then you cannot access international financial systems like World Bank, MIF, whatsoever. Then that challenge is one of the biggest challenges we have. We don't have money to mobilize. We don't have money to gather, to make our agendas, to make our everything aware. That's the challenge we have, but we are still here strong, saying enough is enough. We are going to lead soon.
So many challenges are facing young people, which is preventing them from becoming leaders. Now, in general, are these challenges coming from the leaders themselves and the society, or are the youth also to blame? Because sometimes even the youth are to blame. Maybe they are not working hard enough, they are not gaining more knowledge. Who do we blame in this situation?
That kind of debate is very, very serious debate, but according to my views, I'm blaming these old people, because of the leader is the one who prepares the next generation, who gives a chance to the next system. But in general in Africa, particularly in Somaliland, we have still the same group. We have the group of people who have been here last 40 years. 40 years.
And we still expect
we're still expecting to be here. Because of, if you go to all parties, they are 70 plus in the age. If you go to our parliament, both Codka and parliament, they are same people here. If you go to tribal leaders, they are also same. But these people, they don't prepare us an environment to lead the country. They don't prepare us policies. They don't infrastructure, what we call an educational system. There's no strong educational system here, which can enable you to make your rational decision. Our education is very fragmented, very distorted. Then you need to. There's no room.
There's no room for young people to take up leadership roles.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no room because the old people are not ready to make that room available. If you go against that system, you ended in the jail. That's as I told you before. Then we are in between hard rock, and we are in between this kind of very, very hard situation. But we have a good hope now. We are starting now, and as a young people here, we are now growing because of we are in the part, we are part of the political parties. We are part of the education system country. We have our initiative and business initiatives, like, you know, if you go to the downtown, you can see so many brand names which leading by young people. Initiative. We go abroad. We accumulate more experience. Then now we are enough. We can at least do something better. Yeah.
Okay, President Obama, Barack Obama, when he was president, he came up with an initiative, YALI, the Young African Leaders Initiative, and it is nurturing young people in Africa to take up leadership roles from wherever they are. Are there such initiatives here in Africa and especially in Somaliland? Is there anything that the government has done to ensure that young people are capable of leading?
Yes, thanks to President Obama, he made his position very clear when he was in Addis Ababa. He told that Africa needs strong institutions. It doesn't need strong men. That's what we have in here now, and that's very true according to my opinion. We have here Somaliland Youth Fund, Somaliland Youth Fund, which created by the former President Silanyo, and our current president also activated it, but it's almost a political chip. It's not as we wish. We need to be autonomous from parties. We need to be youth oriented. Whichever party you are, whichever clan you are, you should have access. We need also to become a youth oriented. For example, they should give us a platform to speak each other, to our views, to talk our discussions, even if it's against the system. We need to be to exercise that right. But they manipulate, they control to look for faults. That's the challenge we have. We need to become non-political or non-alliance with the Kulmia Party. Kulmia Party is creates these things to hunt for heads for the young people, or to make intervention of the personal private or private rights. But we have that fund. We have also what you call Somaliland Youth Umbrella. This is to be a very strong institution, which advocates young people, and even they advocate a law which was law 20, and then they succeeded that law, and they changed that number, they decreased the age number, but now they become.
What is the age number now?
It's 25.
25 from 35.
From 35. They used to be 40. They lowered now. They decreased it. Then, but this institution now this is not strong enough as it used to be, because of the government manipulated it. They used it as a political chip. And they lose their credibility because of we are different tribes. If the young people see himself against that institution, there's no anymore, and they lose their what we call credibility. And these things of issue of Obama, he advocated that issue. He created that institution or that fund, but when he left, Trump has come to power. He didn't continue that issue, but now we hope he will try to do also again. Yeah. So
you believe that there is hope? Do you believe there is hope for young people?
Absolutely, 100%. For example, when you look for Somaliland, for example, before 5 years and now, it's completely different. How young people are engaging, how they are interacting, how they are against the system, how they are uniting each other, and we see a very, very good promising days to come. We see the future is brighter than before, and good enough. The old people they are going. They already with age is barrier because of they are not ready to be here a longer time, and no. The only thing we need is political parties to become active. For example, Rotary Party, they appointed a young man as a general secretary of the party. He's ready to listen. I think people. He's ready to make what we call a reform in the party. because democracy starts from parties. If you don't have a democracy in the party, you don't have democracy in the country. And we hope also Kulmiye and to make same move and appoint a new young man to it. And by the way, as a young politician, I'm going to make here a very good advice for young. If they don't prepare themselves, if they don't read, if they don't articulate their issues, they are not. No one is going to welcome them. The environment of harmony is very harsh, and the resources are very limited. The country is not recognized it. The politics is very polluted. Then we need to be strong enough to make our argument or to make our agendas push forward. And I have a very good optimism about the future.
Did you ever want to be a leader from when you were smaller? Did you just find yourself in leadership?
Absolutely. That's why I'm doing my PhD. PhD now is educational leadership and management. I did my first degree business, and I choose management, major in management. Oh, because of my friends took accounting, I took management. Then leadership, I did international relations and diplomacy. Leadership is element of my attributes, and I will lead, inshallah. I will become, and I will hope I will lead one day in the country, inshallah.
We hope so.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so you've given us so much knowledge, and I would like you to give your final word of advice. Politics is not an easy thing. Leadership is not an easy thing. And I believe that leadership starts from home. You have to be a leader from where you are. What advice do you give a young person who looks up at you, Mustafa, and says, one day I want to be like Mustafa?
My advice is, now we are in age of transformation. We are age of change. Change is coming every other day. We have more opportunity than before. We are connected to each other. For example, I wrote, I'm a commentator, political commentator. I know so many friends of mine which have different ideas, but we share a bright future. Then we can come together, we can put our difference behind, we can look what we can work together. Because of more hands are better than one hand. The only thing we need is to understand that we are different as our colors, as our background, but our future is common. We are not against each other, we are against other continents. We are not facing China, who is coming here
to take over. We are having other colonial powers here. They unite as European Union. We have America, which is imperialism. Then if you look each other here down, we are not ready, but should be fight for other continents. We should become as our grandfathers. We have Jomo Kenyatta, we have Nkrumah, we have so many people here. Then we should look back, not like this history of last 20 to 25 years, which is conflict in each other. But before we used to be a great people in the world at large. Then my advice is, if we don't fight our rights, no one is going to give us. No, as a gift. And change is happening. If go to Ethiopia, we have Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, which is a very young man, 40-something. He's ready to transform. He appointed a new leader to Somali region, Mustafa actually. And you go to Kenya, we have Uhuru Kenyatta, the first president. We are a very young person. Then we have hope than before, and we will change the country, inshallah. Well, indeed, I also believe that young people are the change agents, and we can do so much. All we need is to believe that we can do it and work hard in it. Well, you've heard it from Mustafa himself. Thank you so much for making time to come to CBA TV. It was a wonderful show. And to you young people out there, you've heard it. You can be the change we want. Don't wait for tomorrow, start today. No matter your color, your background, it doesn't matter where you come from. The future is common for all of us. We all have the same future, and the same things that affect a rich person is the same things that affect a poor person. So let us raise our voices and let us not be afraid to speak. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Wangui.